One question that I always got asked by pupils when approaching exams was, but how do I revise maths, miss? How to revise maths effectively can obviously vary from person to person, but there are a few key elements that will help ensure pupils feel confident enough to take control of their revision and go into the exam feeling that they've got this. First of all, learn the formulae. Without being able to remember the required formula, pupils will come unstuck at the first hurdle and be unable to progress through these questions. So what can we do as teachers to help with this? The first step is to ensure that pupils understand why or how a formula works. You won't necessarily need to go as far as deriving the formula, but by helping teach them with the formula in context, it will help them retain the information. The second step is to provide pupils with a formula sheet and then make sure that the pupils use it. To encourage this, I would recommend that pupils rewrite the formula on revision cards, including any visuals or prompts that make sense to them. This will help them remember the formula. Pupils should then put their revision cards somewhere they will see them every day during some dead time, i.e. the kitchen table where they sit when they're eating their breakfast, or the bedroom mirror where they sit in front of when they're getting ready in the morning. This routine of reading through them regularly ensures that the formulae will start to sink in almost without the pupils noticing. Thirdly, ensure that pupils get the opportunity to apply the formula in context. This again will improve their grasp of the topic and leads me on to my next point, which is to practice, practice, practice. Although this is not necessarily what your pupils want to hear, we all know that the best way of securing knowledge and understanding in maths is to practice questions. Pupils often find it difficult to do this in maths as they don't know where to find questions, or if they have found questions, they can be repetitive and don't build on previous knowledge. By repeating the same skill over, revision becomes boring and mundane and doesn't add any depth to the learning taking place. Using LBQ mastery question sets in the classroom gives pupils the opportunity to build on their knowledge by tackling increasingly difficult questions on the same topic area. Each pupil's learning is supported by LBQ's teacher-written feedback, which is question by question and addresses misconceptions in the moment, improving pupils' confidence and resilience. Practicing relevant questions of varying degrees of difficulty and receiving feedback on this is key to securing knowledge. The right type of practice is essential, as is knowing what to expect. Hence, exposure to exam questions should always be a key part of exam prep. It is crucial that pupils are familiar with both the format of the exam and the type of questions they will be confronted with. Practicing textbook-style questions isn't enough to be fully prepared. Pupils need exposure to challenging multi-step problem-solving questions and to be familiar with the mark schemes relating to these questions. Understanding where the marks on a question come from will focus pupils on providing enough working to potentially gain full marks. Training pupils how to break down complex questions is also a must. Pupils can often be overwhelmed and become anxious about long questions containing multiple pieces of information. Getting pupils to read and action one sentence at a time, along with annotating diagrams, can help with their understanding of complex questions massively. Lastly, you need to impress upon your pupils to look after themselves. This is one key message that all too often gets lost among all the other information that pupils receive around exam time. Pupils invariably perform better in exams if they have revised, are well rested and raring to go. A balance needs to be struck by teachers whereby preparation is encouraged but not to the exclusion of all else. Pockets of revision are generally more useful than working on something for hours at a time. Encouraging pupils to work 20-30 minutes at a time and then to revisit a topic is far more productive and it builds in retrieval. Instilling in pupils the benefits of a good night's sleep is also important, but this is generally not well received by teenagers. Essentially, pupils benefit by looking after their future selves. Whether this means revising well ahead of time, getting their school bag ready the night before, making sure that they take revision notes for the bus, etc. All of these preparations mean that they can go into an exam knowing that they have set themselves up for the very best outcome.